Church Bible Quiz, University of Ghana, Legon. Our contest today is between Christ Apostolic Church, Pentecost Students and Associates Pensa, and Great Commission Church International. Let's meet our contestants. From Christ Apostolic Church, Pastor, we have from Pentecost Students and Associates Pensa, we have from Great Commission Church International, we have okay. Thank you. Miss Esther, in this contest, you seem to be the only lady. How is the feeling? It will be well, eh? Thank God. Okay, so this program is brought to you by the National Bible Quiz Project and the Student Christian Council, University of Ghana. My name is Billy Esite, and I'm your quiz mistress. So without wasting much time, let's zoom into the first round. Here are the rules. Most questions in this round require simple, straightforward answers. Some questions may require some explanations or more detailed answers. You have 10 seconds to answer your major question, and your answer must be one attempt only. One attempt only. Meaning that you cannot start one answer and change it to start a different answer. If a team fails to answer their main question, I may pass the question on for a bonus to the remaining teams. The first team to ring their bell will have the opportunity to answer. Let's hear your bells. Casa Legon. Pensa Legon. Great Commission. Thank you. Please note, a correct answer to a main question is worth 3 points. A correct answer to a bonus question is worth 1 point. A wrong answer to a bonus question will cost you a deduction of 1. Best wishes to you all. Now to the first set of questions. Casa Legon, what is the name of the man Judah went to stay with when he departed from his brothers? What is the name of the man Judah went to stay with when he departed from his brothers? Bonus. Bonus. No one. Okay. Pensa Legon. What is the name of the Canaanite woman Judah married? The name of the Canaanite woman Judah married. Okay. Bonus. Great Commission. Name the place of birth of Shelah, Shelah, the third son of Judah. Name the place of birth of Shelah, the third son of Judah. Okay. So the answers. Thank you. The answers. The first question is Hira, the Adulamite. The first question, Cass's question. The second question is the daughter of Shua. And then the third question, the answer is Shezib. Chezib. To the next set of questions. Preamble to all teams. Several persons in the New Testament were known by the name Simon. Identify any three of them. Casa Legon.
We have Simon Peter, Simon the Zealot, and we have this Simon who waited for Christ to be born, so that who the angel revealed to him that Christ will be born before he dies.
Okay, that's 2 out of 3. Pensa Legon.
We have Simon the Tanner, Simon of Cyrene, and Simon the son of Jacob.
That's correct. That's correct for 2 points. So the first 2 are correct, but the last one. So 2 points. Great Commission.
We have Simon Iscariot, who was the father of Judas Iscariot. We have Simon, who was coerced to carry the cross of Jesus Christ. We have Simon the leper.
All right, I think they mentioned, Pensa mentioned Simon, the one who carried the cross.
We have
So
Simon of Cyrene.
no, it has already been mentioned. So 2, your last one. It has already been mentioned.
Okay, so we have Simon of Simon of Cyrene. Simon of Cyrene. Simon.
So correct for 3 points. The next set of questions. Preamble to all teams. In all, Abraham built 4 altars to the Lord. In all, Abraham built 4 altars to the Lord. Casa Legon. Mention one location where Abraham built an altar and the major events that happened prior to the building of the altar. 2-fold question.
He built an altar at Shechem.
Okay. The event.
The event is after God promised him that he will bless his descendants.
Okay. That's correct for 2 points. Okay. Pensa Legon. Pensa Legon. Mention one location where Abraham built an altar and the major events that happened prior to the building of the altar. Okay. Great Commission.
He built an altar at Mamre near the terebinth tree, and
The event.
the event.
Okay, so that's 2 points. Okay. The next set of questions. In the book of Leviticus, God gave 3 general laws which govern all animal offerings. In the book of Leviticus, God gave 3 general laws which govern all animal offerings. Casa Legon, mention one.
Okay, so he said the animal should not be one that has died in its blood. The animal that will be presented on the altar, it shouldn't be one that has died in its blood. And she should be clean.
That's correct. Pensa Legon.
Okay, so the Lord said that they should not present any animal that has any defect in its body.
That's correct. Great Commission.
It should be young.
Be precise.
It should be the firstborn.
1 point. Okay, the next set of questions. In Acts 12, Herod gave a command for some guards to be killed. Casa Legon. What was the offense of these guards?
Okay, so their offense was that they didn't notice when Peter got out of the prison. So when he came back to look for.
That's correct. Pensa Legon. Pensa. Herod chased Peter so hard after he got to know of his escape from the prison. Mention the name of the exact place Herod found Peter.
They found Peter in the temple speaking to the people.
That's wrong. Bonus. No one. Okay. He never found Peter. That's the answer. Great Commission. In what may have been a separate development, Herod was highly displeased with the people of Tyre and Sidon. Explain how Tyre and Sidon were able to make peace with Herod.
So Tyre and Sidon, they came to an agreement with Herod, and on one occasion he was allowed to speak and address the people.
So that's correct for 1 point. 1. So the right answer, they befriended Blastus, who was Herod's personal aide, and through him asked for peace with Herod. The next set of questions. The preamble is to all teams. Jesus demonstrated his knowledge of weather forecasting in Matthew chapter 16. Casa Legon. According to Jesus, how did the people tell that an evening was going to be a fair weather?
Okay, so the evening was going to have a fair weather if the skies were red.
That's correct. Pensa Legon. Pensa Legon. Pensa. How did the people tell that the morning was going to be a foul weather?
When it was red and threatening.
That's correct. Great Commission. What rebuke did Jesus give the Pharisees and the Sadducees concerning their ability to forecast the weather?
They were able to forecast the weather, but they were not able to understand the times and the signs.
That's correct. The next set of questions. Casa Legon. The following questions concern the plagues that came upon Egypt. How many days did the plague of bloody water last?
7 days.
That's correct. Pensa Legon. Pensa Legon. How many days did the plague of the darkness last?
3 days.
That's correct. Great Commission. What did magicians say to Pharaoh after Aaron unleashed the plague of the lice?
So they said that this must be the hand of God, and that he should allow them to go.
That's correct. The next set of questions. Casa Legon. Mention any 3 duties of the tabernacle which was exclusively given to the Gershonites. 3 duties of the tabernacle which was exclusively given to the Gershonites.
That it will be the place
Your
of
time
worship.
is up. Sorry. Bonus.
The tabernacle was to be the place where the people could come and meet God.
3 duties.
Okay, and the second one.
Okay, so it's wrong. Pensa, your main question. Mention any 3 duties of the tabernacle which was exclusively given to the Merarites. Mention any 3 duties of the tabernacle which was exclusively given to the Merarites.
They are to carry the tent of meeting.
3. One point. Great Commission. Mention any 3 duties of the tabernacle which was exclusively given to the Kohathites.
So they were to clean the utensils, and then they were to carry the Ark of the Covenant.
2 points. The next set of questions. This preamble is to all teams. The following passage is an extract from Matthew chapter 17. An extract from Matthew chapter 17. Fill in the blank spaces to complete the passage. Casa Legon. Now after dash, Jesus took dash, led them up on dash by themselves. Now after dash, Jesus took dash, led them up on dash by themselves. Bonus.
After these things, Jesus took 3 of his disciples and led them up to a mountain by themselves.
Okay. Well, it has some truth in it, but because it's a bonus, I can't give you the points. Sorry. Pensa, your main question. And he was dashed before them, his face dashed, and his clothes dashed. And he was dashed before them, his face dashed, and his clothes dashed. Matthew 17.
And he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes shone like the light.
That's correct. For 3 points. Great Commission. And behold, dash appeared on them, talking with him. Then Peter answered and said to Jesus, dash, if you wish, dash.
Moses and Elijah, filling the space. Moses and Elijah. And Peter said, Lord, it is good for us that we are here. Let us build an altar here for yourself, Moses and Elijah.
It's correct. So 3 points. 3 points. The next set of questions. This preamble is to all teams. Casa Legon, why did God refuse to give the land of Seir, S-E-I-R, to the people of Israel? Why did God refuse to give the land of Seir to the people of Israel?
Okay, so it is because they sinned against God.
That's wrong. Bonus.
So it's because it belongs to the descendants of Israel.
That's correct. Pensa. Pensa, your main question. Why did God refuse to give the land of the Moabites to the people of Israel? Why did God refuse to give the land of the Moabites to the people of Israel?
Because the Moabites were the descendants of...
Your time is up. Okay.
Because the Moabites are the descendants of... The descendants of... Lot.
That's correct. So please, you have to be fast. Great Commission. Great Commission. Why did God refuse to give the land of the Ammonites to the people of Israel?
They were also descendants of Lot.
That's all you have to say. That's correct. Okay. The next set of questions. In the space of 20 seconds, this is to all teams. In the space of 20 seconds, quote 3 verses from Romans. Casa Legon.
Romans chapter 6 verse 23. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Christ Jesus. Romans chapter 8 verse 6. To set your mind on the things of the flesh is death, but to set your things on the spirit is life and peace. Romans 3:23. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God.
Correct for 3 points. Pensa Legon. Thank you. Thank you. Pensa Legon. Quote 3 verses from Mark.
Mark 12 verse 31, and the second like it is this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than this. Mark chapter 12 verse 30, love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind, and all your strength. Mark 11:17, but he answered and said, it was said that my house should be a house of prayer. Why have you made it a house of robbers, a den of robbers?
That's correct for 3 points. Great Commission. Quote 3 verses from Genesis.
Genesis chapter 1 verse 1. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis chapter 8 verse 22. As long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat.
You said Genesis 8.
Genesis 8 verse 22. As long as the earth remains,
Okay.
seed time and harvest.
Your next one.
Okay. Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. And God made man. God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness.
Okay, that's correct. Okay. So this brings us to the end of round 1.
Welcome to Sweet Music, your home of original musical instruments at the most affordable prices. Drum sets, keyboards, pianos, bass and guitars.
At the end of round 1, Casa Legon accumulated 19 points. Legon accumulated 20 points. Great Commission Church accumulated 24 points. Now to the second round. This is the speed race. Every question goes to all teams. And each team must race to be the first to answer. If you believe you have an answer, you must ring the bell to be called. Silence, please. Can we hear the bells of each team? Casa, Pensa, Legon, Great Commission. Thank you. Okay. By the time you ring the bell, you must be ready with your answer, else the next team to have rung will be given the opportunity to answer. For every question, the first to ring the bell who gets it right earns 3 points. If the first to ring gets it wrong, the second to ring gets it right earns 2 points. If the first two teams get it wrong, the third team, if they rang and got it right, will earn 1 point. For every incorrect answer given after ringing, you will earn a deduction of 1 point. A team is not obliged to ring the bell and answer if they are not sure of their answer. Best wishes to all teams. The first question. Jezebel's husband, just like Herodias' husband, were both confronted by prophets concerning their sins. What are the names of the respective prophets who confronted them? Great Commission.
So for Jezebel's, that's Ahab, Elijah confronted John the Baptist.
That's correct. The next question. Trace the genealogy of Abraham to Reu. R-E-U. Trace the genealogy of Abraham to Reu. All right, Spencer.
Abraham, Isaac, to Jacob, to Judah, to Perez.
It's wrong. It's wrong. So the right answer. Abraham, Terah, Nahor, Serug, then Reu, the last person. The next question. How different is the name Abraham from Abraham? Okay, Great Commission.
So whereas Abraham means exalted father, Abraham means father of many nations.
That's correct. The next question. Elim was the one... Casa.
Elim is the place where there were 12 wells and 70 palm trees.
That's correct. The next question. The next question. Mention the names of the 3 persons Jesus raised back to life during Casa.
Jairus' daughter, Lazarus, and the son of the widow of Nain.
That's correct. The next question. Medical scans which provide the information of the sex of unborn babies were not available until the modern times. How did Joseph know that the child of Mary was carrying Casa?
So an angel of the Lord came to him and told him that he's carrying a son, and his name shall be called Jesus.
That's correct. The next question. In the parable of the growing seed, which is only recorded in Mark's Gospel, 3 stages of growth from a seed into a crop are listed. Mention them in their order. In the parable of the growing seed, which is only recorded in Mark's Gospel, 3 stages of growth from a seed into a crop are listed. Mention them. Pensa.
It's grew, it's budded, and it's grew some.
Come again.
It's grew, it's sprouted, it's budded, and it's grew some.
That's wrong. So the answer. First, the blade or leaf. Second, the head or ear. And then the last, the full grain in the head or full corn in the ear. The next question. The account that a disciple of Jesus cutting off the ear of a servant of the high priest is recorded in all 4 Gospels. In which Gospel is the servant's kasa?
The Gospel of John.
That's correct. Okay. The next question. State 2 reasons why the people of Israel were instructed against going to gather manna on the 7th day. Pensa Legon.
Because it was on the Sabbath day.
2 reasons.
And they were supposed to rest.
Okay. Well, that's correct. The next question. What is the mathematical relationship between the Ummah, O-M-E, Kasa?
Ummah is 1/10 of effort.
That's correct. The next question. The next question. Describe as exact as possible how the plague of the balls happened in Egypt. Describe as exact as possible how the plague of the balls happened in Egypt. Great Commission.
So the plague of the ball, Aaron took some ashes from a furnace and blew it in the presence of...
That's correct. The next question. What is the standard composition of a meat or grain offering? The standard composition of a meat or grain offering. Okay, so the answers: fine flour, oil, and frankincense. The next question. State the exact location of this verse in the book of Deuteronomy, the chapter and verse. I call heaven and earth as witnesses today against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing.
Deuteronomy
Pensa.
chapter 30, verse 19.
That's correct. The next question. Which category of peace offerings did not, under any circumstance, accept an animal with 1 limb too long or too short than the other to be offered? The time is up. The correct answer is vow. Yeah. V-O-W. The next question. The 12 census takers in the first census of Israel recorded in numbers, just like the 12 spies that were sent to explore Canaan, were all leaders from the tribes of Israel. What single difference can you find between the composition of both groups?
Okay, so the leaders involved in the census were directly descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel, while those who went for the census, those who went to spy out the land were not necessarily direct descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Well, it's correct. next question. What was the matter of Nadab and Abihu? Pensa.
They offered an unprepared sacrifice to the Lord, and the Lord burnt them in front of the altar in his temple.
That's correct. The next question. What is the difference between the Amorites and the Ammonites? Kasa.
The Ammonites are descendants of Lot, and the Amorites are descendants of Esau.
So it's wrong. The Amorites are descendants of Ham. And the other is correct. The Ammonites are descendants of Lot. The next question. What is the meaning of the Hebrew word yada? Kasa.
Praise.
That's correct. The next question. What is the parable of the leaven? Pensa.
The parable of the leaven is when a woman mixed 60 pounds of flour together to make a dough.
Come again.
The parable of the leaven is when a woman took took yeast and did it in 3 measures of flour until it was ready.
Her first submission was wrong. What you were saying was correct, but we can't give the point. The right answer is the kingdom of heaven is like leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal till it was all leavened. The next question. Complete the following statements with precision and accuracy. Exodus 12, verse 12 says, "For I will pass through the land of Egypt on that night." For I will pass through the land of Egypt on that night. Exodus 12, verse 12. All right. So the answer is, "And will strike all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord." This brings us to the end of round 2.
Welcome to Sweet Music, your home of original musical instruments at the most affordable prices. Drum sets, keyboards, pianos, bass and guitars.
Let me make this quick correction. Then I'll mention the points for round 2. So Pensa answered the question, which was the parable of the leaven. Esther Darko started by saying, she mentioned 60 pounds, and I said it was wrong. But then it's correct in the NIV version. So we'll award them a point. We'll award them their points for that. Okay, so at the end of round 2, Great Commission accumulated 33 points. Pensa accumulated 33 points. And Casa accumulated 36 points. All right. So, to the round 3. So round 3 is the test of the day. In this round, all teams are presented with the same test. And you have 4 minutes to present your victorious answers on the whiteboards provided. 10 points are at stake. Best wishes to you all. So, the test for the day. Below is a diagram of the tabernacle which the Lord commanded Moses to construct. Label the numbered parts as accurately as possible. So you may start.
Welcome to Sweet Music, your home of original musical instruments at the most affordable prices. Drum sets, keyboards, pianos, bass and guitars, mixers, speakers, amplifiers. At the ground floor of Rabito Clinic, Daviama, and Kumasi K Poly 3rd Gate, Amakom.
Solution for the test of the day. So as stated earlier, the instructions concerning the tabernacle are explicitly given in Exodus 35 to 40. The expected answers from contestants were as follows. So the first answer is Ark of the Covenant. And we can see that Great Commission had it right. The second answer, Altar of Incense. None of them had it. So the issue is there are 2 altars. So since they just mentioned altar, we cannot give them the answer. Thank you. All right. Then the third one, table of showbread or table of presents. The fourth one, laver or bronze laver or wash basin. The fifth one, altar of burnt offerings or brazen altar or altar of sacrifice. The sixth one, lampstand or golden lampstand or menorah or candlestick. The seventh one, the holy place or the holy. The eighth, the most holy place or holy of holies or holiest of all. The ninth, outer court or outer courtyard or courtyard. Then the 10th is entrance gate or entrance. So that brings us to the end of round 3. The scores. At the end of round 3, Great Commission Church had 36 points. Pensa had 36 points also, and Casa had 39 points. So to the next round, round 4. In this round, I'll be making statements to each team, and you are to tell whether the statement is true or false. A correct answer is worth 2 points. An incorrect answer will result in a deduction of 1 point. A team can decide not to answer their question, at which point it may be passed on to the next team, which rings their bell first. Same rules on points and deductions apply to a passed on question. Best wishes to you all. The first set of questions. Casa Legon. The total number of verses in Matthew 26 is the same as the total number of verses in Mark 14.
False.
That's correct. 2. Pensa Legon. The total number of verses in Mark 14 is the same as the total number of verses in John 6.
False.
That's correct. Great Commission. The total number of verses in John 6 is the same as the total number of verses in Luke 22.
False.
That's wrong. Casa Legon. The next set of questions. Methuselah is the son of Lamech. Methuselah is the son of Lamech.
False.
That's correct. Pensa Legon. Rachel was given to Jacob as wife 7 years after Leah was married to him. That's wrong. Great Commission. Leah gave birth 5 in succession and afterwards bore no children.
False.
That's correct. The next set of questions. When Aaron's rod, Casa Legon, when Aaron's rod turned into a snake in Pharaoh's house, Pharaoh's magicians also turned their rods into snakes.
False.
That's wrong. Pensa Legon. When Aaron's rod turned the waters into blood, Pharaoh's magicians also turned some water into blood.
False.
That's wrong. Great Commission. When Aaron caused frogs to come from the waters to cover the land of Egypt, Pharaoh's magicians also caused some frogs to come up upon the land.
False.
That's wrong. The next set of questions. When Moses went up to the mountain to receive the tablets of commandment, the glory of the Lord covered the mountain for 4 days, and on the 5th day, God called Moses out of the midst of the cloud. Pensa.
False.
That's correct. Pensa Legon. When Moses went up to the mountain to receive the tablets of the commandment, the glory of the Lord covered the mountain for 7 days, and on the 8th day, God called Moses out of the midst of the cloud.
False.
That's correct. Great Commission. When Moses went up to the mountain to receive the tablets of commandment, the glory cloud of the Lord covered the mountain for 5 days.
False.
That's correct. The next set of questions. The main difference between the offering of a cattle as a burnt offering and the offering of a sheep as a burnt offering is that in the offering of the cattle, the animal had to be skinned.
False.
That's wrong. Pensa Legon. All animal offerings were killed at the door of the tabernacle near the altar northward, whether or not they were sweet aroma offerings.
False.
That's wrong. In a situation where birds could be offered, Great Commission, a possible composition is 1 turtle dove for a sin offering and 1 young pigeon for a burnt offering.
True.
That's wrong. Casa Legon, the next set of questions. The story in which Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do men say I am?" is recorded in all 4 Gospels.
False.
That's correct. Pensa Legon. The story in which Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do men say I am?" is recorded only in the Synoptic Gospels.
True.
That's wrong. Great Commission. The story in which Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do men say I am?" is recorded only in Luke's Gospel.
False.
That's correct. The next set of questions. Casa. In at least one of the cases where Jesus raised a person from the dead, the faith of the receiver of the miracle was required. In at least one of the cases where Jesus raised a person from the dead, the faith of the receiver of the miracle was required.
False.
That's correct. Pensa. The linen clothes of the boy who fled naked about the time Jesus was arrested is the same line cloth that was found in Jesus' tomb after the resurrection. That's correct. Great Commission. Tears, kissing of feet, anointing with oil, and wiping with hair are all recorded in the incidents of Jesus being anointed by a woman, and it's recorded in all 4 Gospels.
False.
That's correct. The next set of questions. This is the last set for this round. The story about the ministry of John the Baptist is recorded in Matthew chapter 3 and Luke chapter 3.
False.
That's wrong. Pensa. The story about the ministry of John the Baptist is recorded in Mark chapter 1 and Luke chapter 3.
False.
That's wrong. Great Commission. The story about the ministry of John the Baptist is recorded in Mark chapter 1 and John chapter 1.
True.
That's correct. This brings us to the end of round 4.
Welcome to Sweet Music, your home of original musical instruments at the most affordable prices. Drum sets, keyboards, pianos, bass and guitars. At the end of the 4th round, Pensa Legon accumulated 37 points. Great Commission Church accumulated 43 points. Legon accumulated 46 points. We'll take the last round, and after, we'll decide the fate of each denomination. Okay, so the last round has to do with riddles. And in this round, there are 4 riddles. A set of clues will be read out to all teams on each riddle. And you have to draw my attention on your readiness to answer by ringing your bell. Can we hear your bells? Kasa, Pensa, Great Commission. Okay. The first to answer rightly wins the points for that riddle. A riddle solved on the first clue is worth 5 points, and on the second clue, 4 points. A riddle solved on the third or any other number of clues will be worth 3 points. If a team wrongly answers a riddle, you will be out of that particular riddle until the next. Best wishes to you all. Give in your best to this, and your fate might change. Okay. So the first riddle. I am a phrase which describes a type of devouring through burning. As a phrase, I am mentioned 3 times in the Bible. I was first mentioned by Moses 2 times in Deuteronomy, while warning the people of Israel of the judgments of the Lord. I am also referenced in the book of Hebrews in... Okay, Great Commission.
Consuming fire.
That's correct. The next riddle. We are 2 popular figures in the New Testament, connected in the natural by marriage. In the Gospels, we are both associated with a portfolio which has great nobility to it. Although it is widely believed that only one of us officially held that portfolio, during the times of the ministry of Jesus into the dispensation of the Acts of the Apostles, the authority of the one deemed unofficial cannot be ignored. In the Gospel of John, it is evident that the one deemed unofficial was the first point of call at the critical stages of Jesus' life. In the book of Acts, we were both present at the Sanhedrin that questioned Peter and John and his folks to desist from preaching in the name of Jesus. The last clue, the portfolio we both held was high. Who are we? Kasa.
Annas and Caiaphas.
That's correct. The third riddle. The third riddle. I am an extract from the message of Jesus Christ, which is popularly known as the Olivet Discourse. I am a description given to a set of happenings which will manifest at the end of the age that approaches. Wars, famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in various places are main characters of my season. The manifestation of these events will resemble the birth pains of a woman, which increase in severity and frequency as the birth of a child grows closer. Pensa.
The signs of the end time.
That's wrong. Nation shall rise against nation, and yet this will only be the beginning. Who am I? Okay, Great Commission.
The end times.
That's wrong.
The second coming of Christ.
That's also wrong. Audience. Okay. All right. So the answer is the beginning of sorrows. Okay. So the fourth and final riddle, which will bring us to the end of this contest. I am a fraction or a part. I am associated with a certain type of trespass offering. I am also associated with restitution offerings. I can be easily expressed as a percentage. Mathematically, I am twice the value of a tithe. Who am Kasa?
1/10.
Come again.
2/10.
That's wrong. Sorry, no bonus. Who can? Great Commission.
Some 1/5.
That's correct. Okay. So this brings us to the end of the second contest. accumulated 37 points. Great Commission accumulated 49 points. And Casa Legon also accumulated 49 points. Okay, so this means there's a tie between Casa and Great Commission. We are going to take a question. It's a speed race kind of question. The land of Havila was known for 3 precious Casa.
Delium, gold, honest.
That's correct. Accumulated 37 points, Casa and Gcci 49 each, which brought us to a tie between them. But eventually, Casa won the race. So, Casa is emerging to the semi-finals. Thank you.